Ready.
Okay. So you read the summary of my book. I like that it started out, okay, so when I first got it, when you see the title alone, the first thing you think is, you can already answer that question, like what the internet's doing to our brains. And I was surprised that after reading it, I kind of rethought my answer. But I like that it wasn't just about the internet. It just started off with different inventions over time and how our brain is adjusting to whatever we have in front of us. So, and that's what I put in my summary. It started out when people originally thought, once you're an adult, nothing changes, your brain is done. But as far as going into this, it gave a lot of pros and cons and a lot of studies and experiments that were done to show. I feel like it gave more cons as far as we don't retain the information. We don't remember anything. We don't memorize anything anymore. If we don't know the answer, we look it up. I mean, being in a school setting, that's kids' answers to everything. I'll just Google it, Yep. And so that's why I think I changed my philosophy on this is, and I was even telling my husband this, I can learn more now than I did 20 years ago because I can look it up versus going to a library or breaking out those old world books that I used to have as a kid that, my parents bought from a traveling salesman. So I think we can learn more today, and kids do learn. They probably learn more of a variety of things versus just, like a handful of things. So I think it does have its downfalls. But I see the pros of it being that they do learn more. I know way too much useless information now, and I blame the internet for that.
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to think as you were discussing it. I'm thinking about time consumption because, like you said, the time to drive to the library, get to the library, ask the librarian, where can I find these books? You find the books, you sit down, you look it up, you're starting to read the pages. Where is the reasoning of, look at all this time that I spent trying to find this answer, where I can just open up my computer, log in, not log in, but open up the internet, type what I'm looking for, bam, I got it. If it's not that, then I look at for something else.
Right, yeah.
So, but then it goes to your point of how much are they retaining that information as quick as they are getting it? Are they just looking for just the norm or just the minimum, and then they just go away?
Yeah.
Because with books, I mean, to get to what you're wanting to learn, I mean, you ain't just you jump to page 56 and there it is. You have to actually read through the information.
Right.
Get to it.
And then when you leave the library, okay, did you write all that information down? Did you make a copy of it? What did you do so you can refer back to it later?
Yeah.
So, so I do like I do like that it's right there at our fingertips. I know a con to that would be sometimes people are just so quick to get the information off the first thing listed, which may not necessarily be true. So yeah, they may be learning a lot of great information that's incorrect.
Yeah.
So then I think that comes into play as far as, yes, it's convenient, but are you really learning something, and are you learning the right things?
Yeah. It's an interesting topic. I would love to get a poll from that. Let's see, probably middle school to high school versus college students. I would like to see those two demographics.
See how much they change. I'd be curious, just from where I'm at, middle school to high school, because kids are always on their phone.
Yeah,
and they can multitask, and they can do all these different things at once. They can be playing a game, still listening to you and paying attention, and can still tell you. But like I said, I still think I think our retention is a lot smaller today than it was back in the day.
Yeah, I agree. And the point that you made about distractions, as you were speaking on that, I didn't even think about that. Like when you're on a certain web page, there comes a flashing advertisement to the side. Oh, what's that? Like you immediately, draw your attention to that and away from what you were trying to accomplish in the first place.
It's making everybody ADD because it's like, oh, something shiny.
Yeah.
Click on that. And
yeah.
So
I think we're definitely a shiny object society.
Yes. And it is. And so when I was trying to compare this to my internship, I'm like, here I'm trying to make things convenient, but am I really making it convenient for them? So if I provide all these other links, now are they going to get sidetracked and forget why they were even doing this? Yeah. And I think that's a problem that a lot of us have too, is because we are so quick to get sidetracked because there's so much there.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
So lots of pros and cons. So I felt like I was finding more things wrong with it than the good things in it. And so I think everybody's going to be different, but I think we're all evolving. So as our technology changes, we're changing with it. And so it's just one of those, it's going to be an ongoing process. We can never say, okay, this way it's going to work. And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder where we're going to be, I'm guessing, 10 to 15 years down the line when it comes to students utilizing the internet for research purposes and whatnot. I wonder if ebooks is going to take off more versus just, reading out of a normal textbook. I can wonder about that.
And even in the book that I read, it touched on that they had surveyed people and that more people are apt to read an electronic document than read a regular book. Like I found it strange that I was reading a paperback on the internet.
How ironic.
Why did I not get an ebook? I got the paper version.
Well, what's funny? I ended up getting the ebook version. I bought it from Amazon and Kindle. Yeah. And I guess I'm a culprit, if I guess you can say, even though you spoke about the internet, I guess it's a form of the internet with an ebook, because I had the ebook on my iPad while I'm typing the summary on my computer. So I do see many, many pros with doing so, because let's just say, Julie, you have the book open on your table and it's on whatever page. How many times have you done this and hold it down with your elbow or your arm and you're trying to type at the same time? Whereas if you got it here on your iPad, you're looking back and forth without even having to fool with the pages or anything. Plus, let's just throw in the environment, for good's sake. You're saving trees and then you can accumulate a lot more text than lugging around a bunch of books.
Right. Just size and space.
Yeah.
Becomes into play.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought it was funny. I don't even know why I didn't get the ebook. I don't know when I ordered it if it wasn't an option, but when I got it, my husband's like, seriously, you've got a paperback on the internet?
I didn't even think about that until you brought it up.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So, I don't even know why paperback was an option. So
yeah. I probably wouldn't even have done that, but as a seller, you do want to maximize your profit because all your sellers aren't the same.
Right.
To buying purchases. Yeah, I agree.
And like you just said, sellers aren't the same. That's the way I think as far as the way people learn, everybody learns different. And so that's how I tied this in with the internship. The visual resources I did, I gave a variety. Screenshots for those people who need to see it, step-by-step instructions, or video links. So there was a variety to try to fit every type of learner.
Yeah. Do you feel that, because we do guides in our office as well for the professors, do you feel that it's do you feel that it may be negative in terms of not having them figure it out on their own? It's kind of like you're just giving them the answers to the test Whereas if you point them in the right direction per se, and they can try and do trial and error, I don't know where that fine line would land, because this is the first time I'm actually thinking about that. I always think in terms of creating guides as accessible 24/7, cuts down on the phone calls and emails and drop-ins. So I don't know where that falls, because we're working on the ebook to serve to every professor, whether they teach online or face-to-face, because guides will help them in face-to-face situations.
Well, and I like, for us, I think one of our things is that time. We don't always have time to where teachers would actually come to a training, because now we're cutting into their personal time. So, I could help them on their conference, but what if my time is not the same as their time? So now they're not going to learn it, or they're going to keep putting it off. So I look at it like, here it is. If you want to learn it, here's your option to do it on your own. If not, then you make the time to come to a face-to-face. Yeah. But some people, like I said, we have some people that they don't need the training. They're very quick. Just show me what it is. I can do it. And then we have other people that won't even come to training, or if they do, they're not going to ask a question, because, usually they're older and they don't want people to know.
That's true.
Yeah. I was talking about a teacher I had that still had a flip phone.
Oh my God. It's 2018.
Yeah. Well, he won an iPad last year and he kept calling it an iPod.
Oh my God.
Yep.
That's wrong on so many levels.
He's taking it to the iPad store to get his iPod.
The iPad store. Wow.
So you have all those different. So sometimes technology scares them. So you can give it to them in a sense that on their own they can go in and look at it and say, "Ooh."
That's true.
And then there's some that they're never going to get it.
Yeah, I know. Well,
But it's their mindset. It's not that they can't. They've already determined they're not going to do it.
Yeah. I hate that. Like, why are you so stuck in your ways? And you have no idea how much it can help you.
Right.
In the short term and long term.
Yeah. And so that was the whole thing, with this internship. I was trying to make it easy and convenient, but then I started second guessing myself, going, okay, am I doing them a disservice? Because now either they're going to get sidetracked because I provided all these other things for them, but I'm trying to reach every type of person. So
yeah, I agree.
So it kind of, like I said, it from the beginning to the end, I was very quick to say that the internet's ruining our brains, because my answer to everything was, all you need is duct tape and Google, and you can solve all problems.
That's a good one.
So, but I've changed my mind that it does provide learning. Like I said, anytime I don't know something, I'm the world's worst. I'm going to Google it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just take, for instance, Google Home and Amazon Alexa. It's like, said her name already. So
yep, she's going to ask you.
Yeah, I know she's lighting up right now. But
between Alexa and Siri.
Yeah. We just want that answer real quick.
So I don't know if there's going to be, and I don't know. I wouldn't think that there'd be. I'm sure there's stuff that we would disagree on, but I think because of what we're doing is so similar, I don't know if I'm going to have anything for that second part on the summary with you. Do you disagree with anything?
No. I don't. I think we're on the same lines with our pros and cons.
It would almost be weird if we did.
Yeah. Because we are technology people. We love using it, and we, at the same time, we do understand that it can be a distraction. It can be a hindrance. But for the most part, the pros outweigh the cons. And I think that with us having the experience that we have, we kind of know when to stop looking at the shiny objects and focus more on what we were there for in the first place. So if you talk to a ninth grader, they may not feel the same way, because they're always constantly, like you said, they're on their phone. They are a digital type of person. So, and I think that with us, I mean, I don't know about myself, because, I mean, how much are you on the internet at work doing work?
Like true internet or just technology?
True internet.
Not much. Not
Okay.
at work.
Okay.
You know, I do my emails. Any kind of programs that we run it through a portal on the internet. But as far as just to be out searching on the internet, not much.
Yeah. So that's the difference. Like you don't, I don't.
Right.
I'm on Blackboard 24/7. So it's not so much a distraction for us.
Right.
But when you talk to a ninth grader, they're on their phone, they're on their iPad, they're music, they're searching the internet.
They're shopping.
They're shopping. Exactly. They are on the internet 24/7. So I think that they would probably have different answers, and probably would disagree and say, "Oh no, the internet, it's great. It's a great tool. It's not, distracting me, or it's not stopping me from learning." But only a poll and studies would prove that.
I feel like maybe it's a process. So yes, they're on the internet looking at all these different things, but I think as they get older, or maybe they become more focused. Okay, yes, I like to look at these things, but right now I'm focusing on this.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, we've trained ourselves to stop clicking on the shiny things. So I almost think it's going to be a process for them.
I wonder if ourselves, being in their shoes, growing up with the internet as we didn't, how would we feel at this stage in our life? I wonder if we would have different answers, because, I mean, the internet was part of your life at an early stage, whereas for us, it was not.
Right.
Curious to see what that would be. Of course, that wouldn't even occur. That would be another study to ask, like, a ninth grader, and then as they go on through college, what do you feel at that point? But I don't know. It's fun to think about that. Like, would we say, "Oh, the internet is a savior, never distracted me"? Curious.
But you like you said, and I've asked my kids this too. I said, think about what it's going to be like when you're older, and your kids are doing all this stuff, and you're going to look at them and say, "Oh, please, when I was younger, all we had was this."
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I am
curious to see how it changes. But I think that's where what I'm doing leads into what you're doing. Because I think with VR and AR and all that artificial intelligence stuff, I think we're going to see a totally different kind of world.
I had never seen AR until, I believe, 2015, I believe. But I know that, VR and AR existed, years ago, but it's coming to the mainstream. It's becoming more useful in education. But when I attended the OLC conference back, I believe, in 2015, there was a presenter by the name of Dr. Robbie Melton. She is she's the tech queen. In terms of her sessions involve technology that hasn't even been released yet to the public in the United States and overseas, or she gets it from overseas, just hasn't hit us. She would have earrings that had hard drives in it. And my personal favorite, she had her colleague wear a shirt that had a mascot on it. And if you had, certain goggles or a certain phone, you can see it pop out. And I believe that if we had that technology, Julie, as like middle school and high school, I think that we would be so much more focused to learning, and we would retain that information a lot more. Now, I wouldn't want to replace certain aspects of learning, entirely, unless there were studies involved to where we would see how much of an impact it would have on their learning. For example, dissecting a frog.
Mm-hmm.
There could be a whole bunch of pros and cons when it comes to that. But how much more would it be to where we would do it digitally through virtual reality or augmented reality? Mm-hmm. Then I also discovered in the book that I didn't even think about this, doing virtual reality with students of your own age in another country. Let's just say they're taking a Spanish course or a French course. How great would that be to actually do dialogue that's different from your adult teacher, and you're actually learning from somebody across the overseas that's your age? Like that would be pretty cool to see. Mm-hmm. But she did have some good points. I didn't even understand this, and I think that you can definitely touch more upon this. When she talked about, okay, the excitement level, the student benefits, that's all well and dandy, because the students would definitely be more receptive about it. But teachers, how excited are they going to be to utilize that in their classrooms? And one of the tools that I think she touched upon was called Vive. And she said, you need to measure your classroom and see how much space there is to actually have this tool in there. So I didn't even think about that. Like, would you think about that? Like in your position, like, oh, this tool would be great, but did you even think about the size of it and the space? That's something that I didn't think about. And then of course the training aspect of it. That would tie into your guides and doing instructional videos. So I guess there is kind of some correlation when it comes to your internship job and VR and AR. But I think that it would definitely benefit the students more so with more pros than cons, because there was a study that was done in the book, and it did say that the students retain more information using VR and AR than learning it in the normal way. And then another point with virtual reality, let's just say schools, with their budgets are having, a difficult time. Whereas if you would get, the use of virtual reality, they can actually take those field trips to the art galleries, to the oceans, and learn, and to the I don't know, just any monuments, and actually view those aspects and learning that way. Whereas the same old reading it from the book, they would be more excited to learn from actually seeing it visually. So,
well, I think it makes it more interactive and engaging, and that's where they're going to remember it. And like I said, I could read something from a book, and you could ask me tomorrow. I'm not going to remember what it's about unless it was something I was truly interested in.
Exactly.
But now, have you seen the projectors that will make it look like the example they showed us was like a well jumping out of the ocean? So they're in a gym, and then it looks like their gym floor has become the ocean, and everybody is seeing this.
Yes.
And have you seen that?
I've seen that. Yes.
And stuff like that. Things like that is, that's what they're going to remember. That's how they're going to learn.
Yeah.
So I think, as the technology changes, the way they learn changes. But when you said, are teachers going to be that excited? I think it's going to take a special type of person for these different things. Have
you introduced anything like that to your professors? No? Has there been any talks about using it in the classroom?
No. I did get to see, I went to a site visit this week of a CTE center, and they were so excited. This place was really cool. They were so excited. They got one of those, and I'm curious if y'all have them, the virtual autopsy tables.
Oh, wow.
Do you have one of those at Lamar?
We do not. Not that I know of. Oh, wow.
They're so excited, and they're so ready to use it. She said it cost $80,000. And I'm like, okay, my school district cannot afford that.
Wow.
But they have to be trained on this. And so these
Yes.
teachers are so excited. And that's what they need, that excitement to
Yeah.
get trained. But it is a virtual autopsy table.
Man.
So, yeah, so they're going to get to experience that
Yeah.
over and over and over versus actually with real dead people.
That, that,
That may be hard
I think
to
a
come
lot of,
across. And this is high school students.
oh, wow.
Yeah, this is going to be for high school students. So, it kind of gives you an idea. Are you really cut out to do medical? Because, maybe that thought of that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that is awesome. And then you don't even have to worry about the permission slips and just
Right.
the releases. That would just go out the window. I mean, whereas you would have the technology right in front of you, and I guess that goes along with the time consumption. You wouldn't be wasting time going through all of that paperwork, just like going through the library and reading through all those books. The technology would be right then and there. You can just say, that'll be part of the curriculum tomorrow.
Yeah. And it's not a one-day field trip. It's something, they could spend 2 weeks doing.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
And learn so much more.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
I just don't know when it will take off. It just doesn't seem like, it's, oh boy. Sorry. It just doesn't seem like it's going to resonate with everybody across the world. When is it going to happen? Because every single time I go to that OLC conference, she's always there. She's always talking about this technology. At the ISDT conference, there was nothing but VR sessions. So when is it going to become mainstream?
Now, this woman that you're talking about, is she just like super energetic and will have like a table full of stuff? I think I've seen her do a presentation like on smart stuff.
You are describing her to a T.
She's just nonstop, and she'll be wearing stuff. And I mean, she had some kind of cat at one point. I mean, she was cracking us up.
Yes, that's her. Yes,
because when you start talking about it, I'm like, I think I've seen this woman. She is amazing.
Yep.
She says people just send her stuff to try out.
That's
I'm like,
it.
How did you get on that list? And I want to, it's like, I want your job.
She's on the Tennessee Board of Regents, and that's her.
That's her.
Ah, too funny.
She is awesome.
Oh my God. It's just her energy level is out of this world. And she's always like, baby, let me tell you. Like, man, what is she about to bring out now? I'm getting excited.
Mm-hmm. So but she's that perfect person. She can present that stuff.
You are correct. I think that if they see somebody that's along the same lines as them career-wise, maybe that will jumpstart it. It's just when.
Yeah, because she is an older woman, and to be so excited and to know so much about the upcoming stuff.
Do you have professors like that are, 20 years of teaching experience, but they are, with the times, and they love technology and incorporated? No, you don't have anybody.
Very few. Usually it's our young teachers.
Wow.
Like I said, I still get teachers with flip phones.
Oh my God. That is so surprising. See, that's one of the issues right there. There's just no camaraderie when it comes to using technology in the classroom. That's crazy.
Or they're excited about it when they first see it.
Yes.
And then we get it for them and we put it in their classroom, and then it may stay in a desk or in a closet.
That's exactly what the author talked about. Like that excitement level will be through the roof. And then when it comes time to actually train and develop, it falls by the wayside. It's incredible to me. Like how I'm locked into everything that comes out technology. I'm just excited. Like how awesome would it be to do that? What was it? The Amazon store that they came out. Like you just go into the grocery store and you check out yourself and it bills you. I forgot what type of store that was, but that would just be awesome. And then I'm a big NBA fan, and they've incorporated VR, watching those games, and it makes you feel like you're actually there. Why would you not want to, I don't know, learn about the animals, um, viewing virtual reality. I mean, that's incredible to me.
Well, I wonder if we took the approach of let's instead of training the teacher, let's just go in the classroom and train those kids, and then it's going to force those teachers to get on board or find something, because those kids are going to be excited.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. I just think that it would be really cool to see how much their grades, I'm just going to say, improve. I don't think they're actually going to go down. They're actually going to remember what they saw virtually or actually using augmented reality with the content that they're learning. So, yeah.
But I agree with you. When is this really going to happen? Because do you remember, oh my gosh, I don't know how long, when VR first tried to come out and they would have the big O.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was like, it was here and then it was gone. And then it was like all of a sudden, and the same thing, what was it? I don't know if it was the Google Glasses that appeared and disappeared and then slowly coming back.
Yep. I remember that. It's I don't know. I thought
this will disappear like that did.
Yeah.
This time.
Yeah. I thought that, it would be along the same lines as like the TVs, the flat screen TVs when they first came out. Astronomically prices through the roof.
Oh yeah.
And when they, came down the prices, then everybody started buying in on it. I do see that they are very expensive, but they have come down on the price. So I guess only time will tell, because Apple's trying really hard with their augmented reality. Maybe that will catch on. But y'all are a Google school district?
We're a little bit of everything.
Okay.
That's a problem too. Sometimes we have too much.
Yeah.
So what do you want them to focus on?
Yeah.
Because we're just letting them pick whatever. So now we have all these different programs. It's only being used a little bit here and there, and not one thing 100% success.
Yeah. But I think that I guess just, going back to how I tied it in with my internship, I just wanted to, focus on VR and AR because I thought that was going to be my dissertation topic and I wanted to get more information about it. But when it comes to trying to create a new interactive, innovative, I guess, way to track and submit your internship hours that's different from just doing pen and paper, I also thought about time consumption. And I also thought about technology because I wanted to design a way for the students to submit their hours using their phone, using their iPad, using the computer. I just feel that would help them with submitting their hours, getting more hours, etc. So with comparing that to maybe VR and AR, I would like to see that utilized online. I don't know how that would go because you're not actually teaching it to the class. You're almost like having them do it on their own. But they are college students. They should know, how to do something. So maybe somebody can create, a company or a tool that they can combine their content with their technology. I do know that there is a technology out there that utilizes virtual reality for improving your speech skills, improving your job interviewing. So they set up virtual reality where you've got people out in the audience and they're doing all types of different distractions to try to, distract you from your content that you're speaking.
Yeah. But, tying it in with your internship, you've eliminated a lot of human error.
Yeah, true. Yes.
Because it's not going to get lost.
Yes.
Filed, or, how many times have you put a paper and it got filed into the wrong thing and you find it a year later going, how'd that get there?
I did not even think about that. Yeah. So that's kind of where I was going with choosing this book. And then I saw that it was actually available at ISDT. So I was like, okay, this is a sign. I'm just going to stick with this and see where it takes me because I was very curious as to how people viewed VR and AR. And it's a 2018 book, so it was very current.
Like I said, I think you're onto something, and that's going to be the next step of us as far as what we're going to see. I mean, even like I'll go to TCEA, and we were just so, and this was probably 2 years ago when Google came out with the cardboard where you can do the VR.
She gave those away at the session, so yeah.
So, and and when we didn't have it, but like I downloaded the app on my phone. So I'm in a restaurant. I've got the app open. I've got a napkin over my head, and I can still, so they made it easier. I didn't need those cardboard glasses. I was just going to do it because I just needed a place that was dark. And
yeah.
And so I can see how, it went from this big bulky thing to where we're just putting our smartphone on some, goggles or something. Yeah. And then it freaks me out. My niece got it for Christmas. So here I am, and I'm falling off a building or something. I'm like, this is not fun, but kids love it,
Yeah.
So
I was, I forgot how I used it. I think there was a haunted house. No, insane asylum.
Oh, see, no. It probably had clowns in it, and you lost me.
It was fun.
But you laugh, and then you laugh at them because, they're reacting to something you're not part of. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I mean, I'm literally like doing this, looking down. I'm like, oh man, there they are right there in a wheelchair. It's incredible. But I hope that it does take off soon, because I think that that should be the next wave of technology.
And just think it can provide opportunities for people who maybe wouldn't get to have certain experiences, like if you have people that are quadriplegic, wheelchair, can't walk, something they can still have that experience.
Oh man, that is another good point. I mean, just to have that experience, watching the Hoover Dam, or looking at the Louvre, that would be incredible. Yep.
But then I want to say there was some movie, I don't remember what it was, like where like you would never leave your house. Everything, and that would be like a con, I guess, is now nobody's ever going to go anywhere, and they're just going to sit at home in their chair and
there'd be no social life whatsoever. You would be a hermit crab, I'm guessing. Staying inside. That would definitely be a con.
I mean, but that, like I said, I don't know. I guess it's just the way it's presented. And like I said, in school, it's going to be great. But I mean, that's the only con I can think is some people.
Do you think that going along with what you said as far as the internet and the brain, you think that would have some type of negativity when it comes to that? Like you would just overutilize VR and AR when it came to learning?
I think it would definitely rewire our brain, because like one of the big things that they talked about in mine was how quick, as far as increasing, like when people would click, their speed as far as eye coordination and move around, how that has changed because people are so quick. Or like, have you ever seen kids text and they're just using their thumbs? It's rewired on how they do stuff. So there was pros to it. But again, I think our brain would just change with that type of technology. So when you think of your technology, what's our brain going to do? I mean, it's really going to be our eyes that's doing everything. Yeah,
that's true. I just wonder though, it's like with the VR and AR, when it came to K through 12, you really have full control over that. So they wouldn't, I guess, over exert their brains, because they wouldn't be taking it home and using it there. You'd only be using it in the classroom. But when it came to college students, I think that would be different, because you can actually assign assignments through using your phone. And I think at that point, being a college student, you would use your time more wisely, and you wouldn't over exert your brain at that point. I don't know. It just goes back to the difference of K through 12 versus college students. I think that it would be, completely different.
I mean, in education, I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
As adults, I worry about social skills.
Yeah.
People may have virtual girlfriends now.
Oh my God, that'd be insane.
Yeah. Have you ever
But then
seen
at the same time, Julie, would it help that 29-year-old that is not social? He or she never was.
Yeah.
So would virtual reality actually help them in the long run?
That's a good point. They could learn to be more comfortable around people.
Yeah. And then let me go along the same lines. Let's just say a 12-year-old kid sits by themselves, at lunch, doesn't really interact with the class, pretty much goes to class, leaves, goes to the next one. If they're actually working in a virtual group with somebody from another school who they're not really seeing in person or sitting next to them, would that be a positive? And would that open up their social skills and help them in their own classroom? It's something
I never thought of it
about,
like that. Yeah.
something to think about, because I wasn't that social when it came to middle school. I was in a private school, and we only had 20-something kids. You only interacted with them. You're not going to interact with the fourth graders while you're in sixth grade.
Right.
So
that's not cool.
I know it's not at all. I'm already not cool, and now I want to be seen with a fourth grader. So I do wonder, would that open up not only their social skills, but would it open up their study skills, depending on what they're working on in the class?
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be curious to see how that would work out. Yep.
I like it. I hope it comes along quicker than what it's doing. I feel like we've spent the last 2 to 3 years hearing about it, seeing a little bit of it.
Yeah.
But,
I do
how
wonder,
much are we really doing?
I do wonder though if it would be a situation of a top-down advertisement, like the Department of Education, and going down from there. Would we like to see more from the government? I don't know. It'd be curious to see how much of an impact they would have, because of course, they control the budget.
Yeah.
So if they start advertising it more, I don't know, how would you make that part of the curriculum? Like, can you make that mandated to incorporate VR and AR?
I don't think you could mandate it. I mean, I think it could be, they just use technology resource, and then whatever resource you can find that fits that, then there you go.
Okay. Because so let's hear that from the government. Then it goes down to the superintendents. Then it goes down to the principals. I just wonder if it would get lost. I don't know.
It could.
Yeah.
I think it would depend on who these people were that it was going down the line. Are they excited about technology? Do they see the direction it needs to go? Or do you have somebody that's like, why should I change it? It's worked this way for years.
Yeah. Because I do know that with the professor I'm working with, Dr. Long, she incorporates, I guess it could be, it is virtual reality. She uses this company called Shadow Health. And what it is, let's see how they describe it. It's a digital clinical experience with simulated clinical environments, and it's really, really cool. It's 3D interactive learning environments. So I've seen it in action at one of the sessions. Another school had did it, and if you ask certain questions to the patient, they will respond differently, and it puts you in a different circumstance. So it's almost like it's looking for key words for you to speak. So it's really awesome. And it goes back to what you were talking about with the students viewing those. What do you call it? What's the politically correct word for a dead body? A catheter?
Cadaver.
Yes. So this would definitely help them, asking questions virtually to patients, get them prepared for, the real patients. So
Well, and that would be great because, sometimes like our health science kids, I'd want them to learn that bedside manner before we put them on a real person. Just like when we do their phlebotomy certification, they practice on a fake arm before giving them real arms. And so, and we do that sometimes with biology. They'll do a virtual frog dissection to see how to do it before they do it on a real one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that actually could help.
Mm-hmm.
Not eliminate the real version, do the virtual first, assess how the students react to it, and then correct what went wrong or go with what went right before you actually do the real version.
Yeah, help them fix those mistakes before they, make it on a real person.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to do that, especially with nursing and health.
Because I've had the students, stick the needle in my arm, and the last thing I like hearing was, "Uh-oh."
They actually say that?
Oh, she did.
Oh my God.
Yeah. When you hear "uh-oh," I'm like, oh, that can't be good. And I don't look anyway.
Yeah. Oh my
And then you hear the teacher go, oh, that's not right.
Yeah, you think? Oh my God.
Yeah, let's put her back on the arm.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I see that.
There's a lot of pros.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
And it's not replacing. And so I think that's something important too to stress on. We're not replacing those skills and doing those things. We're just adding to their learning.
And that would probably be an administrative, or would have to be an administrative policy.
Yeah.
And responsibility to explain to them this is not a full replacement. This is just a helpful guide.
It's an addition.
Yeah, an addition. Yeah. I agree.
I
think we've definitely hit on.
You think we hit on everything?
Books, because I know I did list pros and cons for mine. You listed pros and cons for yours. Talked about the future of the technologies, and then you had said, internet can be a distraction. So, I think we've covered all aspects and more.
Yeah.
When it came to this, so are you feel comfortable with ending the recording now?
I think so.
All right.